That's happening right now. So I'm now recording. So in addition to going over documents in our theme, we will answer any questions you may have, and we are actually hoping to keep this to about 30 minutes. So it's pretty much in a straightforward event. So I will turn that over to Mrs. Andrews.
Okay. Let me just grab up what I need. All right, so you're looking at a picture of our student center right now. So just some of the documents. A lot of you guys have done some things on your pre-registration, and you've uploaded some documents, which is really making the registration process a lot easier because a lot of the things you may have done already.
Ms. Andrews, may I just interrupt for 1 second? Can you ask what other people are seeing on their screen? Because mine says launching Zoom, and I'm not sure if that's your screen or mine.
I see the screen that Janice is putting, joining Google Classroom? Is that
Yes, that's the one everybody should be seeing.
I see it.
Okay. I don't see that, but that's okay. I'm not there. We're not here for me.
So what just to let you all know, I created a Google Classroom, and these will be the instructions, and I can send this out in an email along with the recording. And most of your kids can probably help you do this. But if you go to classroom.google.com, and at the top, you'll see where a little plus sign where you hit join class. And you want to make sure you're with the correct account. And then this is the class code. So it's this PDAAZIG. And the reason I did this is that so we can share some documents quickly and electronically with you. So I'm going to take a look at some of the documents today, and then after we get off of here, you can certainly do that. I will email, a few things out to you so you're able to do that. So let me just get off of this one now, and I'll make sure that I go to the right.
So we may need, I'm actually viewing what you're talking about, although I'm just having my own little technical difficulties that has nothing to do with you, but we may need to just get guidance as far as how to join a Google Classroom once we have that.
So that was that little slide there. You go to classroom.google.com, and then in the upper corner, there'll be a little plus sign, and you click it, and it will be join a classroom. And then you need the class code, which I put up, and I'm going to email it out to everybody.
Yep.
So they'll have that, because I don't expect or anticipate that somebody wrote that down real quickly, and I can email that. Certainly they know they can get emails from me. So so once you have joined it, you'll get what looks like, I'm assuming what looks like on my screen. Now remember, I'm seeing this from the teacher point of view, not necessarily the parent or student point of view. But when you click on it, there's always going to be a stream or some kind of a feed. So every time I put additional documents or they will show up here. The nice thing is, as we add documents as we go along, and it may not be part of the registration process, but it may be other documents, like once we get our 7th grade and our 8th grade, materials list and things like that, I'll be able to add it, and it will send you an email saying that it's been updated, and you'd be able to go in there and have access to that. It just, not that we won't give you a paper copy at some point, but this is, I think, a lot more efficient to be able to do it like this. So I put on here, good evening and welcome to our registration orientation Google Classroom. So if you go up to the classwork tab up at the top here, that's where you'll get a list of materials and documents that you need. So I'm going to click on that. Now,
can I just interrupt you one more time? I really apologize, but it's probably good that I'm asking these questions. Does everybody see Hartford Magnet Trinity Academy, College Academy Google Classroom right now?
let me know when we're good or when we're not.
I can't. Mr. Jardam, thank you for coming. I don't see our participants right now. What do you see on the screen?
See the password.
Yeah, I think we just still see the password. Thank you.
Really?
Yeah, that happens sometimes. That's why I had clarified. So you know what we might have to do is unshare your screen.
No, they've had this happen before. And wait a minute, hold on. And then we'll see. So whoever,
Yeah.
you know, is that better?
It says registration forms now.
Yes.
Good. And that's where you should be. So what happened, and I can go back out just a sec, you know, from where we, so I've had that happen to me too, Ms. Goldstein. So where you have to do like a new share.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. So thank you for stopping me for that. So once you have joined, you will, this is what the little Google Classroom would look like. If you go to the, let me get rid of the people up here. The little waffle in the corner, you can always access the classroom that way once you've joined. So, and again, your children can probably help you with this. So back to where I was, this is the stream I was talking about, and it's showing all the things that I've posted. And here's all the different things that have been posted. And if I go to where it's at, and then you would see if I put something new, let's say in a couple of days, I get a new document for you and I post that, you'll get an email and it'll be in that stream as well. But under classwork is where you're going to find, and again, I don't know what the student version looks like. This is what mine is. So I want to take a look under the there's registration forms. It's only two topics here, and informational documents. So, and I can just, in the informational documents, and we'll get to some of those in a little bit. And as I gather more for you, I will be putting additional ones out there. So I'm going to take just a quick look at this new student checklist for enrollment. So you click on that and just click, and then here's the form itself. You can open with, it could be Word, it could be a Google Doc. I'm going to leave it like this for now. And this is really, again, mostly for your purposes, the different enrollment documents you would need. So the birth certificate, the proof of residency, and your photo ID should have all been uploaded during your pre-registration process. In the past, that wasn't always the case, and so that's why it's on this list here. And the next thing is a student record information request form, which is really the records release. So, because we're going to need a release of records on file so that we can get your child's, all your child's records so we can register them. The home language survey was also completed during pre-registration. Mr. Jardam is here to be able to review the music department participation form. And I've got that, you know, a surprise for him because I have it 2 different ways for him. The nurse information sheet will be included in a packet that will go out to you all. And
Can I
then
interrupt you one more time, just because it still just says this checklist?
I did it again.
Okay. No, it's not you. It's just, I think it's a flaw in Zoom.
Is the checklist up or no? I guess not.
That's what I see as the checklist.
The checklist is there now.
Yeah.
Okay, so because I'm on the checklist right now.
Okay. Okay.
That's what I'm on. I'm just I haven't moved any documents,
Okay.
just to kind of go over it. And the last thing is the registration verification form for suburban students. This, again, if you're a Hartford student, you don't have to do. If you are a suburban student, you would have to do that, and we can take a look at it. And it's basically either sending it or bringing it, and certainly school choice. And we understand that at this point, it may not be possible to get into the boards of education to bring this to say, yes, you know, that my student is registered. Maybe it's an East Hartford student, Manchester, wherever you live. So, but we will need that at some point. All right, I'm going to go back and I want to make sure I'm in the right place. Do you now see my screen again that says registration forms and the list, or no?
Yes. Yes.
All right, I want to make sure I'm in the right place, and you see me scrolling. I want to make. Okay, so these are, and the registration forms are the ones I was just speaking about. So the student, you can click on any of these, and I have attached files for you. Where the student record information, that's the release of records. I have it in both a PDF format and a Word format for you. So again, these are all things that could be printed off or viewed or sent somewhere else. Did it come up, the form?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just checking every single time, so I'm sorry that it's annoying, but so this is just, again, that release of records form. So the name of the school would be the school in which the child was previously enrolled. And you need to fill in with the street address, city, state, zip code, their number, your signature. So these are all forms, you know, that you will need to have, and then the student's name, and then it gives some instructions down below. And this will be for to that school to be able to send to us. So forwarding all the records to us. And that's where so we have the information there. So it's really important, obviously, to have that release of records. All right, I'm gonna back that out. I'm hoping I'm back because I'm gonna
Yep.
take just a quick look at the suburban registration and verification form. Again, all these are attached for you. And I'm not opening them with anything just because we're going over them quickly. This one also, oops. Okay, there we go. This, are we seeing it?
Yes.
All right. So it just gives you some procedures. It's also in Spanish. And then as you go down, it'll let you know you need to, and when you open it up, I think the lines will line up a little bit better. And then and again, this is only for our suburban students, meaning anybody that does not live in Hartford. So, and this is the one that you would take to your district. And you can see you would just fill that out, whether you print it and write it out, or whether you're able to, type right into the form. And then the district itself has to, an official has to sign that off. They're verifying that you're registered within your district, and they'll stamp that, or they'll do a seal. So.
Now, I know Ms. Payne is also on this call and assisting with, we're going to be sending some hard copies of some of these documents over. Is that right?
That's correct.
Great.
And Ms. Payne has assured me that she will stop me if I say anything wrong. We had a conversation already. So if I give misinformation, I've got people here, telling me no. All right. So Mr. Jardam,
Yeah.
Performing Arts Participation Form, and you'll be able to introduce yourself. So I have the image of the form that you have, and then I will show it to you guys afterwards, after you explain this in the actual form that I have. So I'm going to bring that image up. Go ahead, Mr. Jardam.
Perfect. Thank you. That's, by the way, what a great idea to do this in Google Classroom. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's why you're the Magnet School Coordinator. Anyway, I'm here to put in a plug for performing arts at HMTCA. I'm the chorus teacher. My name is Ed Jardam, and performing arts are really big at HMTCA. So there's a form that you have here that gives you the 5 different performing arts classes. We have band, orchestra, chorus, dance, and theater. And we would like everyone that is coming into 6th grade or whatever grade this is. I don't know if this is just 6th grade or what, but
A little mixed.
okay, mixed, good. We would like everyone to do a performing arts class. Actually, we'd like for you to do more than one class. What we'd like you to do is ignore where it says choose 1 or 2 of these, and we'd like you to give us information about any instruments you play already or you might be interested in. So band instruments are woodwind, brass, and percussion. And if you're interested in that, and if you've played one before, you would say how many years. We start all beginners in band and orchestra. For string instruments and brass woodwind, you don't have to have experience, but we'd like to know if you do. Orchestra is string instruments, violin, viola, cello, and bass. Again, if you play, if you haven't played, that's fine. And then of course, I teach chorus. There's no experience needed for that. And so we'd like some information about your experience anyway. And then dance and theater, they are semester-long classes for those people who would like to do a performance at the end. There are quarter classes as well, just for you to get your feet wet, but there's actually semester classes that end in a performance. So please check not just 1 or 2, but 2 or 3 or 4 of these where you can fit them in your schedule. There are some general music classes. There's going to be a new 6th grade general music 1 quarter class, just a survey of American music. And then there is some a guitar for 8th grade and music technology. But these are the primary performing arts classes. They are full year of the music ensembles are full year classes, and they have 2 evening concerts. The dance and theater are semester long. So you are making a commitment when you're in an ensemble to be in there all year. But of course, you get your feet wet, and we hope to have everyone try one of these performing arts classes, and I'll be happy to answer any other questions you have. Was I talking too fast? Was that okay?
I think that's good.
Good.
So I also have this. So once you've kind of looked over that form, that's just kind of a picture of it. You'll actually be able to do it in what's called Google Forms. Are you seeing that up there with this little?
Wow.
All right.
Yes.
So
Great.
this is Mr. Jardam's form. I put a picture of it up again just so you could reacquaint yourself as well. And then you would just go next, next. Now, if there's something that you're not interested in, well, then you would just leave that blank. I didn't require it. The things that are required, obviously, and it may not let me move on, to be honest, unless I kind of check, check these, I may have to answer it. So last name, first name, the parent name, I may just have to put some letters in here just so that it'll let me keep going on. Just so, and I don't have to go through the whole form because it's the same questions. Your previous school, your previous school town. Okay. And then grade entering, let's say I'm going into the 6th grade. So, and then we start here, what are you interested in? And again, like Mr. Jardam said, pick as many, as you may want. And it says answer the sections that follow based on your choices here. So if you didn't check band off, then you're going to skip the band part. Because I wouldn't want you to not, to not check it. And then you're talking about an instrument. So let's say I'm really interested in band. Sorry, Mr. Jardam, I'm going to dance now. So maybe I want to do dance and I'll do chorus as well. So I click those and I go to the next, and then it'll ask me, and this is the band section, and it tells you band. It's the same questions that are on his form. What instrument do you currently play? Select one. I've never played. I played an instrument. If you played one, indicate the grade you began playing. So it's all the same questions that Mr. Jardam has on the other. And you just check these off. And then as you continue now, it'll let you, here's the topper saying this is now orchestra. Well, I don't think I selected orchestra, so I'm going to go next. Okay.
We have a question in the chat
Okay.
from Sage asking, what is piano considered, Mr. Jardam?
We don't teach keyboard. I used to teach that, but we don't do that anymore. But there is piano and jazz band and high school band, but the choice to play is guitar, and that happens in, I believe, 8th to 12th grade. So no keyboard per se, but there is keyboard in jazz band and high school band.
Great.
All right.
Ms. Andrews, you have made this so much easier, because what we used to do is take everyone's forms, put them all in an Excel list to get together and discuss where we're going to put everybody. It took hours, and now you have made it easier for us. But really, it's really important to get all the information, because we start scheduling immediately when we get all these forms, and we discuss where to put you so that you get everything that you want as far as the performing arts. So thanks, Ms. Andrews.
So he's thanking me because at the very end, once you submit, we can turn this into an Excel sheet for him and all of your responses, and it'll just make life so much simpler. So this is why I did this. So that, I don't need to go through the whole form. You get the idea. The topics are, the titles are here, and you can just fill in at the very end. It'll actually it'll say submit, and then you will have submitted your form. So it makes it just that much easier to do. All right, I'm gonna go back to the classroom. So that was the performing arts. And those were the actual registration forms that I did have. And we also have some informational documents. And I know I'll get to you in a second, Ms. Goldstein. So with the school agreement and common understandings and expectations. The other thing, all the summer packets for 6, 7, and 8 are here. If you are here for high school, any summer work, that would be forthcoming. And I can post that, as soon as I do get that, the district calendar. So for those that have questions like what day does school start, that's all here. And again, it's nice because you can go back to it any time. If you're part of the classroom, we can continue to put things in. School uniforms is also another question that we're getting, we get a lot of. And so under here, we have a picture guideline, and we also have a written document letting you know the school requirements in terms of uniforms, and also where you can, apparently it flipped to my pictures. But at the bottom of the other was it shows you where you can actually purchase the uniforms. So that's all under here under informational documents. So I don't know, I don't see the chat, so hopefully people are keeping up with that in case there are other questions, because I know I'm going through this kind of quickly. but I may turn that over because I know Mrs. Goldstein would like to talk about the school agreement, and this is just an image of that, but oof,
We
let's
do
try
have
and
a question in the chat about which summer packet do I do if I'm going into 7th grade?
then you would do 7th grade.
Okay.
So whatever your entering grade is, that is the summer packet you do. I'm just trying to make this a little bigger for you so you can actually see it.
And
Right.
another question is, are girls allowed to wear skirts?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think there's some guidelines in terms of like the length of the
Yola.
skirts.
That's what we call it, Mrs. Andrews.
Mhm.
Dollar
Where we
bill length.
Okay.
All right. So I need this a little bit larger, so I'm actually going to do that on my end.
Okay.
Nope, I got it. I think I got it.
Good.
So, oops, excuse me. So is this where I come in?
This is when you come in.
All right. So this document that Mrs. Andrews is showing, we're also going to send this in hard copy to you. And it's very, very important. And it's important in the sense that every enrollment that we have is because you chose the school. And we're grateful that you chose Hartford Magnet Trinity College Academy, because that is, we're the best school. But also because of our values and because of what we stand for. So I am not going to read this word for word. I'm going to let people do that on your own. But what I do want to draw your attention to are a couple things. So it's really, if you could just scroll up a tiny bit, or maybe it's my own screen now, is thanks. Oh, that's perfect. That Hartford Magnet Trinity College Academy is, we have a mission to create a sense of pride and passion for achievement. And our vision and how we do that is we strive to be honorable in our actions, mindful of our diversity, thoughtful toward others, creative in our expression, and ambitious in our scholarly endeavors. That is a mouthful, but these values are ones that look different for everybody. So my way of looking honorable in my actions or thoughtful toward others is different from your way. We're not all the same. That is not the point. But we all share these same values, and we all agree that they're important and that we need to do them. So moms and dads and aunts, uncles, whoever is here on the call or listening to this recording, we are now partners in this. And I want to thank you in advance for being partners, so that one, in the event that your child or another classmate, not to sound dramatic, but like violates the integrity of the value, that we work together to treat everything like a teachable moment so that we can make corrections and move forward. And when we do that and we all say, yes, I'm on board with these values, I agree to the student expectations and the parent and guardian expectations, we hold up our end of the agreement, which is to provide your child with an excellent education, following these values. We have an amazing community as a result of that. So we'll come back to this, but it's really, really important to me that you review these, that you're clear, that we're committed to these, that you share your commitment, knowing that no one is perfect, and that we're going to work together. And I'll just finish by saying, because what happens when we all work as partners together and supporting students in the mission and vision of the school, you have an amazing, amazing graduate. We're having our commencement ceremony tomorrow, and the graduates that we are seeing off have all internalized these values. They look different for each one of the students. Everyone's their own person, but boy, are they going to soar. They're going to fly, and we're sad to see them go, but we're so proud of them and excited for them. So we have that end goal in mind. While I was talking, I did notice a couple of basic questions in the chat. So we can go to those, but I'm not sure, Ms. Andrews, if I missed anything, or Ms. Payne. While you're thinking of that, good questions in this that are related to the forms. So the forms can be, they could be dropped by, you could drop them off to us. You can mail them. You can fax them. Sage asked if there's a book we need to read over the summer. What a great question. You'll see in the packet, and it's not just math, so we'll make sure that you get all of those documents. And not all of these are Google Docs. Some of them are scanned in. So this is just a really great directory and of all of the documents.
Okay. I think before we leave too, I will put up that code for the Google Classroom again for anybody that wanted to write it down before they get my email. So
Okay. And you know what? I could type it into the chat. Or
that would be great.
Okay.
But I have to
I
bring
wrote
that
it. Yeah. Okay. PDAAZIG.
There we go. PDAAZIG. So the other document that I know you wanted to go over, Mrs. Goldstein, is the
Yep.
common understandings and expectations.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. Let me just type that in. Okay. So this is like the signed document basically of what we just talked about. And again, it is really to provide the community that you signed up for. It's providing the community that you want for your child. And it's providing a high performance school, not a perfect school, not a school of students making all the right choices at all the right time. That's not something that's fair to expect. That's, people are people, and we welcome everybody, absolutely. So let's look at the common understandings and expectations. So students, we want students to remain in good academic standing. I'm going to say, that I really would like our families to take on the pride and passion for achievement, and not settle. We want to keep climbing and doing our best. So students, you are completing the assignments that your teachers give you. You're preparing for the assessments when they are scheduled. If you need support, you are taking advantage of that. We have not been offering a Saturday Academy that can come back, but we do offer our Trin Prep, our intervention. So we really need you to take advantage of that so that you can learn. And then the last one on that list actually is my favorite, and it is very, very important. And that is, we want every student to participate in extracurricular activities. So that means, during Trin Prep, if you're in middle school, that means in Trin Prep, you are joining a club, or you're joining one thing that you stay in for a while. Maybe it's robotics. Maybe it's the walking club. Maybe it's the sports club, chess club. It's participating in, when you get into high school and middle school, sports, if that's something that interests you. And we, of course, recognize that doesn't interest everybody, but choose an extracurricular. Why is that so important? I'll just answer my own question to keep it moving. When you choose an extracurricular activity, that's where you're going to find some really good friends, because you all have those things in common. You enjoy them. You'll challenge each other to grow. You'll have a great time. And that's where I call it meeting your people. That happens in middle school. It happens in high school. It will be the same in college and even in life. We want to stay in the extracurriculars. Couple more things. We must demonstrate responsible, respectful, and reflective behavior. Keyword reflective. So again, we're not looking for perfection, but if we make a mistake or a bad choice, we want you to feel safe that we are going to reflect on that, and we're going to figure out how to make things better so that when you can move forward in a positive way. And then, you know, we do need everybody to understand that we do not ever want to interfere with our own or others' academic achievement. So if you go on Facebook tomorrow and you watch our graduation ceremony, which I really hope that you do, it's at noon tomorrow, you'll see that we have a class of senior class that was just lifting one another up all the time. Were they in middle school a long time ago? Yes. Did they maybe not do that all the time once upon a time? Sure. But eventually we want to get to that point where we are all supporting one another. We refuse to do anything that can be perceived as bullying. That creates an unsafe environment. No put downs, no ranking, no threatening, and especially, and this was never a new thing, but now it's an especially important thing moving forward. One, that we are respectful of one another in every single way. Anything that could be perceived as something, and I hate to use words that may sound a little loaded, especially for some of our younger students who may be here, but we are going to be an anti-racist school. And that means we commit to owning our behavior, owning our language, and maintaining respect at all times. And also respecting one another's cultures, greeting each other in the morning, and really taking it to that next level. I promise you the benefits far outweigh any temptation to do anything that sounds like a put down. And then finally, use of phones. Phones are not used in the middle school. They are stored away right away. We take that very seriously. We have many, many ways for parents to reach us and many, many ways to support your student in reaching your child. So no phones out. When that happens, we need to follow a certain policy, which don't need to go into the details now, but I just really want you to know we need focus on what we're doing in the classroom. And then we really need everyone to own the uniform policy. And so that's a lot easier to do in middle school for some reason than in high school, but we're not going to go off of the uniform. We have to follow the policy. And trust me, the benefits outweigh the temptations to test those limits. So I thank you for listening to these common understandings and expectations. I will finally say that many questions on people's minds are probably like, well, how is school going to be in the fall, in August when we go back to school in light of COVID-19 and the CDC guidelines and the state regulations? The answer is that's a work in progress right now, so I cannot answer that question. What I can tell you is the State Department of Education is working with many other experts in the state to finalize guidelines that districts will use to create plans that support the guidelines and allow your child to participate as fully as possible under those guidelines. So what that will look like, we will definitely be communicating with you. It will be very similar from district to district. My guess is that it will not be identical, but it'll be similar. And I can tell you we have a lot of innovative people in Hartford Public Schools and especially at HMTCA. So we're gonna make it work, and I think we're gonna actually do really well. So that's all I have for that. But thank you for putting that up on the screen for us to review that. And you might be muted, Ms. Andrews.
I am muted. That's what happened. Sorry, I had to cough and I didn't want to be rude.
Yep, I get
So
it.
I think that we've pretty much gone through everything. And I mean, even though I didn't open up the grade 6 supply or the summer packet, if you don't see forms here, they may be forthcoming, like the supply list for the 7th and the 8th and some high school information. So as we get those together, I'll be able to add these. But if you add yourself to the Google Classroom, it will send you an email if I've updated something. And then after this meeting, and once Mrs. Goldstein sends me the recording, I'll send out a recording of this meeting to you, as well as the information for getting into Google Classroom if you didn't get a chance to write that down.
Great.
So I know it's kind of weird now. Now parents are like, parents like, we have to do Google Class. Now they have to do Google Class. Your kids might laugh at you.
I can help
They
you.
can, they can certainly help. So if there's any other questions,
Another great question about school email. Hartford Public Schools has just kind of instituted the student email process, so more information to come about that. So in the meantime, you can use an email that you currently have. What I will also say is, although our participation on this live call was a little bit on the low side, which is totally fine because we all have a lot going on right now, I want to reassure everyone that we're getting almost close to capacity now, and I'm very, very excited about that. So it's really exciting that we're going to have a great 6th grade, and we've got very full 7th and up from there. So Mrs. Andrews, I don't know if you have anything to add about that.
nope. I just want to make sure, I agree with you. We've just done, all you guys are from that first round, but we've just also done round 2. So I've contacted another, 30 plus families. So I agree 100% in terms of that. So we want to make sure the pre-registrations get done. I don't want to be sending a letter saying, well, you've accepted, but you never registered. So that's kind of, so make sure if you have not done that yet, most of you have completed it. So, and again, you all have my email if you have additional questions. I might try to get back as soon as possible. I'll be a little busy at graduation tomorrow, so bear with me on that one day, but I'm pretty good about getting back to folks. I want to check with Miss Payne though and find out, was there anything more that she needed to add?
No, I think you covered everything.
Okay, I want to make sure.
Giving me that opportunity.
So, and we will continue and Miss Payne's like me. We actually don't like speaking all the time on this, but Mrs. Payne is with Miss Goldstein, kind of runs the school. Sorry, Miss Goldstein, but let's be,
Oh no, I have no illusions. I'm fully aware.
She is Mrs. Goldstein's executive secretary. So just to let you know, so we all know who really runs, places. So, but I just wanted to let you know who she was. Again, if there's any last questions, other than that, I mean, you will be hearing from me, if not this evening, probably tomorrow, when I have that, and I can add this stuff for you.
Miss Andrews, if they have any performing arts questions, they can always ask you and you can forward it to me.
Right, or you can, or you can give your email address.
Oh, I would be happy to. Sure, I'll do it right now. Oops.
We can put that right in the chat, but I can always forward as well.
Oops.
Absolutely.
Hold on a minute. See.
All right.
Perfect. Thank you.
Great. All right. So you'll be receiving that, like I said, or Mrs. Andrews, it is a busy, busy week for us, and I'm sure for many people, whatever town you live in. So you will be getting documents in the mail. You will have access to us when you have questions, and we'll be with you every step of the way. And once things start to open up, we'll be looking forward to inviting you over to the school, because many people said yes and may not have visited us. So to be continued. See, one more question, which is there a different process from going from one CREC school to another? That I can't speak for CREC. So our magnet school system is through the Hartford Public Schools. And that, so we're not, we don't have the same leadership, and we have different processes. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Mrs. Andrews, for making this such a seamless process on Google Classroom with all of these documents, and to Mr. Jardam for coming to encourage and recruit all interested arts people, and to Ms. Payne for running the school and for doing all of the amazing things that you do. And we need a break, but I'm looking forward already to the next school year. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and with that, I think that we will say goodnight to everybody. So thank you all again. See you soon. Have a safe rest of the school year and a safe summer.
Thank you. You too.
Bye. Thank you.